by lack of implementation of these laws and non-compliance by majority of employers. These employers have gone to court to annul one of the most important part of the labor laws, which is Work Injury Benefits Act 2007. Workers in this country continue reporting and suffering, going to the Ministry of Labor day in, day out for compensation. And the Ministry of Labor cannot decide so long as the employers and lawyers have locked this particular act in the court. Prime Minister, the purpose of the Work Injury Benefits Act was meant to caution both employers and workers from unscrupulous lawyers known as ambulance chasers, and how employers who used to they are the employers who used to complain very much about ambulance chasers. How Mr. Prime Minister turned around for employers to support lawyers to annul this particular act of parliament is a mystery. Wale ambao wanajiita wako chini ya Agricultural Employers Association, wacha ifike tarehe 17 waone kilichofanya punda simee pembe. Yes. 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 If they are making 36 billion, let us ask ourselves how much do go into the pockets of workers. Gap. Their CBA expired in July last year. They have written to our organization saying they will never give an access to trade union officials to access their members, when they know very well the law negates such like activities. Those members are our direct members. Na hii ni nchi iliyo uhuru. The same Sister Jacqueline goes to Telecoms Kenya. The same. And I'm happy the General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union has issued a strike notice. The new federation of the Kenya employers leadership, except the chief executive officer, Sister Jacqueline Mugo, is hell-bent to blame workers for all economic ills, yet it's the majority of employers have refrained from hiring skilled labor and depending on outsourcing of cheap labor. How do you blame workers for poor performance, yet you outsource unskilled laborers who are poorly paid and untrained? Most employers ceased to train, and many closed their training departments while opting for cheap labor. Our government came up with the economic stimulus program in its June 2009 budget for the purpose of creating jobs and reducing poverty. These schemes, like the Kazi kwa Vijana, have not created the jobs that were anticipated because this was haphazardly planned without prior wider consultations, and Kotu Kenya, from the word go, criticized this type of creation of employment by the government simply because we know the government is really, and government is always firm, and government cannot engage in casualization of employment. Government employs citizens on permanent jobs and jobs with security.
The workers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. That was the beginning of Labor Day. We are happy to celebrate it every year. I want to salute Brother Secretary General Francis Atwoli and his entire team for their dedicated service to our country's workers and their support for the government programs, especially the reform agenda. I particularly commend Kotu for going out of his way to educate Kenyans on the reform agenda, and above all, on the draft constitution. It is important that the COTU team succeeds in its agenda for the workers. A strong labor movement is part of a vibrant economy. Fellow Kenyans, over the last few years, our country has been rocked by a series of adverse events, yet our economy remained resilient. This is a result of dedication and hard work of the Kenyan workers. I pay tribute to the workers of this nation. I urge that we continue to exert ourselves so that we make this country a better place and secure the future for our children. It is estimated that every year, 750,000 young Kenyans leave school and seek employment. Creating decent jobs and other income-generating opportunities for these young people is the challenge that we as a nation and as a government must take on and win. Among other measures, we have directed the Kenya Armed Forces, the police and prisons to procure uniforms and other clothing from the Kenyan manufacturers instead of buying imported goods. Save many jobs for Kenyan workers and save our struggling textile industry. The government has identified the micro and small enterprise sector as a significant player in employment creation and poverty reduction. Let me say that we've given instructions to the Ministry of Labor to implement a pay rise of minimum pay of 10%, effect from this year.